Boom. I'll end this off here. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Online classes just went on as well.
Yeah, I think that's what he just started for some reason. But it's all good though. I definitely got something for that ready. You know what I mean? Yosin chapter. Hey, it's a lot about it. It's hitting me so later. I was just checking something, but I think it worked out now. It was something with that software we use. All right, don't worry about it. So what? Salakia. Yosin chapter.
Salakia. It's the camera now.
Just unplug it and plug it back in like we It's up now though. I see the lights come on.
We're up, sir.
All right, no sweat. Let's get it. What was the question you were saying you had out?
My understanding of when the Most High doesn't tempt you with evil,
okay,
or sin, but the unclean spirits or the demons that actually go at you, like they not actually like lying to you like Satan, the white man would do. They're using your lust against you. Just to be able to say that you're not worthy.
No, they're actually lying to you.
Okay.
They actually lying to you because to say they're using your lust against you would mean that Christ had a lust to save himself because Satan came to him. Right?
Okay.
So was Satan lying to him or was using his lust against him?
I wouldn't know how to view it the way you saying it.
Well, that's what you said. That's not what I said. That's what you just said. You said you was asking, would it be a good way to view it as Satan using your lust against you, or is he lying to you?
Was like the way that's why I said I couldn't view it the way you were saying it, because the way I'm saying it, like he attempted to use Christ's lust against him to eat, and to be higher than, be more than what he appeared to be in the world, but it didn't work. He fought his lust.
Okay, so he fought his lust. So then Christ had lust.
Like I thought everybody did.
I would find it hard to prove Christ had lust. How would you prove it?
Maybe I don't know the definition of the lust.
The lust is something you want to do that is against the law. Right? That's what makes the lust evil. You can have a lust for your woman. That's not evil. The lust that's evil is lust to do something that's against the law. That's unlawful. So now, if you say in that, you would have to say that Christ wanted to do something that was unlawful. If it is that you're saying Satan came to him, not lying to him, but trying to use his lust against him.
It's like
go ahead.
So if he, like I'm saying, if he didn't have a lust for that, so
okay, so he didn't have a lust for that.
To get him to have a lust.
So how was he trying to get him to have a lust for it? He would have to lie to him. So that's where you had to start first. In battling a demon, you have to first know that this is a lie. It's all a lie.
Right.
What he's trying to get you to do is a lie. That's why, who is the general taught it last week or week before? In Hebrew Academy, I think you'll learn it. benefit of the doubt. Giving your brother the benefit of the doubt.
That's right.
Why? Because everything appears what? Hold on 1 second. Shalom, sir. Yahanna, change up there. Yes, sir. Okay. Come on. Okay, that could work. I already have one queued, but I have my computer right here. I could clip it if you're ready. Even if you want to decide just before it go, we could just clip it. Right. Come. They taking in for you trying to take in. We trying to talk big now. Come. Right. Right. That they would go in. Come. Well, yeah, I have it right here. If you let me know, like by 8:45 or 8:50, I could definitely clip it. Okay. Go ahead and clip it. Okay, come. No sweat, sir. No sweat. Come, sir. All right, sir. Yeah. You have a cinch up there. Okay. Salakia. Okay.
No sweat, sir.
Yeah, Salakia. Okay, so the lie comes first. The lie comes first, and the lie is going to trigger your lust. You understand? The lie is what's going to trigger that. But the first thing is not your lust. The first thing is the lie. That lie had to come first. You believe that lie, brother, it's a wrap. It's over at that point.
Yeah, that's what when he brought up the question, that's what I was going to say. It happened all the time. Was though, say if you simply just leave your item of yours and it's missing, but you're looking at the brothers who's around and you think, okay, well, the guy who I did it.
I'm glad you bring that up. So like, I found a video that is fucking Israel all the way. Hold on. Bukwash, I'm gonna try to send this to you, all right? Where should I send it to you? For guy over there looking like, why you had to use me? Like, it's so much other niggas in the room. So now Satan gonna lie to him and tell Pagaibo on the camera has a problem with him. You understand? And then he start thinking all types of shit. Where the hell is the damn video, boy?
Yeah, but that most definitely happen all the time, and I just learned over the years just to keep calm, keep quiet, and wait to the end. You know what I'm saying? Wait to the very till you find out exactly, you know what I'm saying, what happened.
You could go one further. You confront the lie.
Right.
Okay.
You confront the lie. Hold on, I have it somewhere right here, boy. Okay, the video, I might be able to find it right now. The video is 2 dogs getting fed, right? And one dog is right here in front of the food. And there's another dog off to the side here, and the owner is pulling the dog away from the food and scattering the food. Scattering it. Or he putting the food in front of his face and moving it. Putting it in front of his face, moving it. The dog loses his fucking mind, excuse my language. Looks at the owner and then attacks the next dog. I shit you not. And I said, that is black people. Not saying we dogs,
Right.
but we being fed by the oppressor who is making us poor. And the next dog is just as hungry as you. The next brother just as hungry as you. But you can't get shit. And instead of going after him, you turn on your brother.
Right.
Because the lie is, well, this is dog food. We all dogs. If this is being taken away from me, it must be him.
Right.
Get the point? It's the lie. The lie is first. Oh, boy. You had to see it to believe it, boy. You had to see the shit to believe it. I can't even remember where I say this shit. I'm going to find it before the class is over, though. This shit blew my mind out. The dog stopped, and he's like, and he just go after the next one like, this is your fault.
Yeah.
If you could, the camera's out again? You know, sweat. I got it for them. Don't worry about it. I got it. All right, listen, I've been on this rodeo already. I know exactly how this thing go. I don't know where it is, boy.
It's like if I may, sir, this is to share a personal experience. This happened recently. I came to the crib and I'm looking for my charger. And I got a charger where it has 3 prongs, which charge any phone.
Right.
And so my rib, she lost her charger, so she will always use mine. But she was gone. And I couldn't find the charger because I normally keep it plugged in. So now I'm getting mad because my phone is like on 5%. And so in my mind, she took it. And now because I believe the lie, I'm like, see? Now I was like, I'm start thinking about all the stuff I should do. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, why would you be so inconsiderate to have me out here, you know what I'm saying, messed up? And I ended up going to the car and grabbed the one out of the car. The next day, I went and she was cleaning up and she just rolled all the chargers and stuff and put it where my stuff was at. And I was like, damn. I was ready to go off the deep end, off the lie. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy how Satan can really play.
Yeah, he'll play with you.
Being vigilant.
I lied to myself first. I counter him.
Yeah.
You did it.
Yeah,
Shit. I lied to myself first. So Satan, what the fuck you gonna tell me now? Right. I can't find it out, but I saved it for that particular purpose because I was like, this here is us in a nutshell. I don't know where the hell it is right now. I thought I had it. Give me Exodus with Moses. Exodus 4, 10 or 12 or something. Where he came and he saw the slave master smiting the Hebrew. And then the Hebrew striving with the Hebrew.
The one with the Hebrew, striving with the Hebrew, I believe it's Exodus 2:13.
So it's right there then. They're both right there.
Yeah, they are both right there. Exodus 2:10. It starts at just go straight to it, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me two of them. It ain't this far, man. God damn. Did I send this to anybody? Anybody ever get a text from me with 2 dogs fighting?
Nah, sir.
That's wild. Okay, go ahead.
The book of Exodus, chapter 2, verse 10. And he looked this way and that way. And when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. Verse 13. And when he went out the second day, behold, two men of the Hebrews strove together. And he said to him that did the wrong, wherefore smitest thou thy fellow?
All right. Shapat, how was this related?
Oh, it's like I was a little lost.
No sweat. Let's read it one more time. Tell him where you at.
The book of Exodus, chapter 2, verse 12. And he looked this way and that way. And when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. Verse 13. And when he went out the second day,
skip up to the one when he said he went down to see how his people fared.
Okay, come. Verse 11. And it came to pass in those days when Moses was grown that he went out unto his brethren and looked on their burdens. And he spied an Egyptian smiting in Hebrew, one of his brethren. And he looked this way and that way. And when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. Verse 13. And when he went out the second day, behold, two men.
You might need to skip up one more.
Come. Verse 10, the book of Exodus, chapter 2, verse 10. And the child grew, and she brought him unto Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. And she called his name Moses. And she said, because I drew him out of the water. Verse 11. And it came to pass in those days.
Okay, that's it. No sweat. Go ahead.
Come. And it came to pass in those days when Moses was grown that he went out unto his brethren and looked onto their burdens. And looked on their burdens.
And looked on their burdens, right? Hold on. Keep reading. No. He looked on their burdens. What did Moses go to do?
To look out to help with their doing.
Read it one more time, bro.
And it came to pass in those days when Moses was grown that he went out unto his brethren and looked on their burdens.
And looked on their burdens. Moses went out to his brethren and looked on their burdens. What did Moses go to do? Oh, Shaphat, I'm listening.
Look on his burdens. The burdens is their troubles. Looked on
their troubles, right? So Moses left Pharaoh's house, which is like the White House, and went to the ghetto, went to see where his people were to look on their troubles, right? Go ahead.
And he spied an Egyptian smiting in Hebrew, one of his brethren.
And he saw an Egyptian smiting a Hebrew, beating a Hebrew, right? Today, that would be a slave master beating a brother or a sister, right? Go ahead.
Verse 12. And he looked this way and that way. And when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand.
Right? He looked this way and that way. And when he saw that there was nobody, he killed the Egyptian and hid his body in the sand, buried his body, right? Keep going.
Verse 13. And when he went out the second day, behold, two men of the Hebrews strove together.
Right? And now he went out a second day. He was like, because after that first day, he's like, okay, this is how my people living. Let me go see some more. Right? Go ahead.
And he said to him that did the wrong, wherefore smitest thou thy fellow?
Right? Wherefore smitest thou thy fellow? What does that mean?
Why you getting?
Why are you all
fighting?
Why are you fighting with your brother? Right? Go ahead.
Verse 14. And he said, who made thee a prince and a judge over us? Intendest thou to kill me? So like, intendest thou to kill me as thou killest the Egyptian? And Moses feared.
What does that part mean, Shaphat?
Basically saying like, who are you to judge what we doing when I seen you kill the Egyptian dude the other day?
Exactly. So now, from what has happened with Moses, what do you know about that condition where we go against each other? Somebody see if they find it for me, please.
Like a crab.
I just need this.
Like a crab in a barrel.
A little bit more. A little bit more than that. Try YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, just like dogs fighting over food or something. But this one wasn't fighting that. It was totally separate. Go ahead.
Like hating your brother, you know what I'm saying? Instead of the actual person who got you in that situation. But he's comparing it to Moses slaying the person who got him in that situation, like he got love for him, to compare the two.
Who got love for who?
Like the guy who said that to Moses,
Mhm.
the brother who said that to Moses, like he's comparing that oppressor, oppressing a brother and him. He's comparing justice to what they're doing.
What do you mean justice?
With the oppressor smiting the Hebrew, over oppression. Moses ended up slaying him. I ain't gonna say that's he shouldn't take the justice in his hands,
Mhm.
but that may be the Lord delivering justice. But he's comparing that to two brothers fighting when they're in the same boat.
And who's comparing it? Moses or the brother?
The brother is comparing.
Okay, I got you. Okay, that's why I say you have to understand it's first a lie. The reason you just said, who knows if the Lord wanted that to happen, is because you don't see that this is a lie first. The Lord did not want that to happen. How do you know? It's right there in the scripture.
Because he buried him, he hit it.
Because he looked around before he killed him.
Right.
Not after.
Right.
He didn't kill him in self-defense. That was premeditated murder. You understand? But if you cloudy about this is justice, I'm avenging these brothers, the Lord works in mysterious ways, the Lord might just use me to do this. Now, you'll do stuff like that and other things. You get the point? You have to know what is the lie. The lie is, I'm going to kill this fool here because he's killing my people. And you believe it. Because what is the lust at that point? What is Satan trying to get you to do at that point?
Take your anger.
No, he's trying to get you to sin. Thou shalt not kill, which in the Hebrew it translates to mean murder, taking a life without cause. That's a law. You can't murder. You cannot murder. You cannot murder somebody. That was murder.
Right.
You get the point?
Okay.
It was absolute murder. What Moses did was wrong.
Right.
In case anybody is confused or wants to be a goddamn hero. That was absolutely wrong. Because why? When they find that bodies, they come in looking for Moses.
No.
Who they looking for?
Slave.
They're going through the slave barracks act.
Right.
You get the point? Just like today.
Right.
What Moses did was absolutely wrong, and that's why he fled.
Right.
Because he thought nobody saw him. Because he was incorrect. Because he believed the lie.
Right.
The lie was in his head. And everything looked, listen, man, I should kill this fool right now and bury him. Nobody ain't going to see me. And shit, I'm Moses. Get the point?
Right.
What he did was wrong. You understand? What he did was wrong. Deliverance does not come by you killing one person or 2 or 20 or 100. It comes by what?
Enduring to the end.
That's true, but out of context though.
Is the Lord's.
That's true, but okay. Deliverance does not come by you murdering one person or killing one person. Depends on which side of the coin you're on. What does it come by?
You teaching the brothers the truth?
Not sinning.
Yes.
Right.
Obeying the Lord. That's what it comes by. You understand? Obeying the Lord. What happened the second time around? How much people did Moses kill?
None.
No.
The army.
He killed the army. He killed the firstborn. The Lord for sure killed it. But Moses was used because why? Why was Moses being able to be used? He obeyed the Lord.
Right.
That was it. He did what the Lord asked him to do. And that was just it. The Lord told Moses, go here and do it. At first, Moses didn't want to do it. Then he went, do this, go back and tell them this, go read the whole thing. Each time the Lord sent him to do something over and over and over, and Moses obeyed. What he did in the beginning, that wasn't the Lord. It was Satan lying to him.
So can we use this in this context where we obeyed what you said, and then that Jake came and smacked that Edomite
With me?
camp this past week?
I don't know nothing about that. What I know is I get orders to go to camp. I get orders to go to camp and make sure you all read and speak and say backup and file reports and file police reports and call the lieutenant on command and let them know we're here and then we're leaving, so that if anybody calls and says some black man on the corner preaching hate, you all know it's us. They're just scared. Right. Whatever happens outside of them signs is none of my effing business. It's Salakia. Right? That's I don't know what the hell y'all talking about. Yeah, I don't care if somebody get their throat slit in the middle of the damn street. That ain't my business. My business is y'all. I don't know what the hell is that. Now, if the Lord wants that shit to happen, that got nothing to do with me. Because why? I obey the Lord. Get the point? And you all follow whose instructions? All right then. Good. Now, what happens outside the camp? Whoever listened to the lie, whoever believed the lie, I don't give a damn. That ain't got shit to do with me. So just for the record, I don't know what the hell you talking about. You know what I mean? What's your name? Juju. What's your last name? Jew. What the hell you talking about? Shit. What camp? Band camp? This one time in band camp, I don't know what the hell you talking about. Listen, I thank the Lord for not knowing a whole ton of things. I've seen the tape after when the Edomite get knocked out on 14th Street. But brother, I can tell you, as the Lord is my witness, till this day, I did not see that shit happen that day. And you could look on the tape, and somehow I was looking the other way. I didn't see the shit happen. Somebody filmed that shit who was in the back. And that's how they came and found whoever it was. Right. But they came up to us that day. I was like, listen, he was here 1 minute. I did this. Next thing you know, he on the ground. And I didn't lie. I honestly didn't see shit. Right. Thus say the Lord. Look at God. You get the point? You have to understand when this is a lie. This is a lie when my next action is unlawful. That's it. Right. That's it. This is a lie, and it's clear as day. And then, now that you know that, when you actually do it, you'll know that I said F it. I'm going to do this. Yep. You get the point? It's a lie. He's coming to you with a lie. He's coming to you with a lie first, right? Adultery. You have a brother who he's promiscuous. He has sex with everybody. What's the lie that's being told to him for the adultery? Meaning he knows this woman is married. What's the lie?
She don't want him, or he don't want her.
Something like that. That'll work.
And that she's available to be courted, or
she's available. She's, it's fair game. She coming to me. Right. Or he ain't treating her right. And he finds out that because why? He's sitting and talking with the bro. Right. And because he believes all that shit, he goes ahead and commits adultery with the bro. Right. You get the point? He goes right ahead and do it because he believed in the lie. It was justified. It's in every goddamn R&B song. It's in every R&B song. I can do it better. Boyfriend number 2. He might love you, but not better than I can. Every song y'all love. That old the one with Nelly and Kelly Rowland. Boy, I used to like that song until I came in the truth. Listen, I heard that shit and I was like, hold up, wait. You mean to tell me all this time this is this ain't just R&B. This is Mrs. Jones. Remember Mrs. Jones? Yeah. Me and Mrs. Jones, we have a thing going on. Secret Garden. Every R&B classic is about adultery. It's about lies, though. Believe in the lie. What's the truth? This is somebody else's woman, and you're going to be put to death for having sex with her. That's right. Now, if that's the truth, you can go ahead and believe what the hell you want. Right. But, it's the lie. He's coming with the lie first. He's coming with the lie.
So, like I said, if I may, and this plays out on the flip side, not the flip side, but this plays out all the time in our community. I remember one time in the world, this young cat I was rolling with, he got robbed. at the spot going to get some stuff,
Mhm.
and he thought it was one of the cats that we was rolling with. And I remember he kept calling. He was like, "I know that nigga did it," because he laid out in his mind the logical reason why it's this cat that we rolling with. And I'm just like, even in the world, I'm like, nah, give him the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
And I remember it was to the point where it was like, this is how murders happen, because the lie that you believe in your mind is like, okay, now he believed this lie, and then he called the cat like, yeah, when I see you, this is and that. And so now he believed the other, he started to believe the lie. So now he felt like he got to do something to him first, because he thinking like, well,
it's sold.
Yeah,
it's you know sold on the lie. You bought into it lock, stock, and barrel. This is the stone cold truth.
Right.
Water is wet, fire is hot.
Right.
This lie is true. It's true. I know it. I know it's true. It's true.
Right.
And that's that. And then everything after that, your life just turns to hell.
Right.
And then when you trace it back, it started right there.
Yep.
And it was a lie. And you believe the lie. That's it. He's coming to you with the lie first. What's the other proof you know he's coming to you with the lie? Shapat. Let me give it to you. He's Satan, but his chief servant is called what? The devil.
Mm-hmm.
What does devil mean?
Deceiver.
Luster?
Deceiver.
Mm-hmm. He's coming to deceive you. He deceived you in the commercials on TV with Arby's and the Big Mac.
Yeah.
You know that's not even real food. It's
Yeah.
plastic. But it looks real, right?
Yeah.
And they got steam coming off the shit.
Right.
And you looking at that like, damn, I could do one of that right now. That's plastic food.
Mm-hmm.
He's lying. And you're not hungry. Skinny coming.
I was saying, I seen that same thing. Like French fries, they had raw potatoes, and they had not even steam. It was something that just made
it was something that just make the smoke come on with a vapor. They put the vape behind the shit. And it's all a lie. He's lying. And you believe in the shit.
Right.
You believe in the shit so much, you just believe in it. But what's true? What's really right and true? That's where you had to go. What is true? You got Yahanna?
Sloppy, sir.
Go ahead.
No, what I was going to say was wrong anyway. So
How you know that?
Yeah, because
You believe in the lie. Go ahead. Let me tell you it's wrong. Who told you it was wrong?
It was about the food.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say that smoke. At first, I was about to say it was that what's it called? The frozen carbon dioxide. What's it
It
called?
could be that too.
Ice.
It could be that too. But what I'm saying is, what do we know it's not? It's not.
Steam.
It's not steam from hot, freshly cooked food.
Right.
It's not even that. It's a lie. Everything is a lie. What's up?
No, I thought you said something. So look.
It's a lie, right? Everything is a goddamn lie. Everything you see is a lie. The commercials right now for buying a car. This is tax season. Come on down. No credit check. $1 down. Your dumbass drive 50 miles. And when you get down there, what do they say? We need to run your credit. Or, oh, no, that should end this morning. You just came to, so-and-so. And now they lied to you. And this thing is on the damn radio and you can't believe. He's like, but hold on, you just lied. Right. Yeah. What do you expect? You understand? It's not the truth. Right. Go ahead, who?
Like there's a question online, but it's in context with what we're.
No sweat. Let's go.
Miss Lick 72 says, when a person thinks a sin is not a sin, is that person lying to him or herself?
When the person thinks the sin is not a sin, okay, if Satan is lying to that person and that person is believing the lie. The demon is lying to that person and that person is now believing the lie. You could say you're lying to yourself, but it's Satan lying to you. You get the point? It's the demon that's lying to you. It's telling you the lie, and you now in turn believe in the lie. You get the point? And that's what it is. Go ahead.
Or the lie we believe on Instagram or the club. We see a woman.
I was just going there too. that Instagram is a straight up liar. Bitch is lying. I'm telling you straight up and down, that bitch is lying. Filters and eyelashes and effing foundation. Right. She's lying to you. She's lying to me. She's lying to herself first thing in the morning. Bitch is lying. Get the point? But sometimes you gotta believe the lie. Yeah, I mean, shit, you believe the lie, she bad. Right? She bad when she show up. Yeah, what you want? This is not you.
Right.
That's not her fault. That's your fault.
Right.
So we good on that? You get the point now? No, with the whole thing with the lust and stuff, that's true. All that part is true, but that's not the root of it.
Right.
That's not because, okay, if you make that the root, then you become evil for having an affliction in the flesh.
Right.
And it's not necessarily that. Everybody's affliction in the flesh is different. Some brothers is weed, some sisters is, perks, some people is this, is that. And that's your fight you have to fight. But what we all have in common, that demon that's lying to you. That's the thing that's common. You understand? That thing that's common is that demon that is lying to you. You get the point? It's lying to you. Asmodeus is that demon. That's a good name for that demon. You know Asmodeus from Tobit? Right? So that demon is telling that sister who killed her seven husbands, he's telling that sister he loves her more than those men. And those men are trying to get in between him and her. So kill them niggas. And she killing them. And then when she done, she wake up, she realize what she done, she's all shocked.
Right.
And what happened when you believe the lie? You were deceived.
Right.
And you get deceived again and again and again until, stop. Go ahead.
That's exactly like when you just say like she wakes up and like see what she done, she's in shock. That happen all the time when brothers like I just told myself if I believe in a lie, and then once I found out it's not true, the demon left. Now you're sitting there shocked or ashamed.
Now you're sitting there stupid.
Yes.
There's a word for that. You're sitting there all stupid like that shit was true anyway. Like, I don't care what you say. That shit was true. But there's a picture here with you with the gun in the broad mouth. Prove it. You don't give a damn because you don't buy into the lie, but the evidence doesn't come out and you're there looking stupid. You get the point? You just don't listen to Satan.
Right.
Like if he's trying to get you to do something that's a sin, that's unlawful,
right,
you're supposed to know this is a lie, no matter what the evidence is.
Right.
And that's why you have to be sober-minded.
Okay.
And so I wasn't able to find the video with the dogs.
Don't sweat it. Give me Titus 2:2.
Okay.
And read on down to 6. You could start at 1.
You want to be sober-minded first, sir?
That's the one I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. I had one in Peter, sir.
In Peter, what do you have? 4 and 7?
5 and 8, sir.
Let me get that first. Then give me Titus, all right?
Okay.
Any more questions, Bukash? A few more?
I had a question too, sir.
No sweat. Tonight I want to just go a little bit more into the with Russia, not really Russia, but what's going on in the world for sure now.
Okay.
Definitely I think we're done with Russia. I think you're already enough about the Viking. Go ahead.
So, sir, would you like some answer?
No. No. See, that's Satan lying to me. Yes. Not you. He telling me yes, nigga. Grapes. I'm like, no, nigga. No, I'm good. I'm too wild. I had 2 pots of coffee today. I don't need nothing to put me down.
Go ahead, read
I got some of that uppers. Go ahead. Who else?
1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour.
Right, read it one more time.
1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour.
Your adversary, the devil, walks about like a roaring lion. Picture a lion roaring, walking around, just roaring. But this is the devil.
Right.
So what's coming out his mouth? Lies. And he yelling it at everybody to see who believe it.
Right.
Like them horror movies where, you gotta be quiet. because he should go hear you and the baby sneeze or something, and that should just, who's that? And just come through the wall. Just think that in the spirit with Satan. Your adversary, the devil, he's walking around lying to you. Just lying to you. And you know what? I know that shit. And he just comes straight to you. And he devours you. And that's it. But you have to be sober-minded. What does that mean? Sober-minded. Break it down. Y'all drink all the wine y'all want to. I don't think this is for anybody who... I see you when you come out with 2 cups. Y'all get busy, man. There's enough wine back there. Drink my cup. Hell. Oh, it's a lot now. Tonight is a lot. Any other night is Tawada. Any other night is Tawada, brother. Yeah. Man, drink that shit, man. That's my shit. Have it. Tawada. Listen, he doing the right thing. He ain't listening to Satan. Go ahead, Ak. Where we at? 1 Peter 1?
5-8, sir.
Go ahead.
So like, could it be you said sober minded? Could it be just being in the spirit of being in the truth?
That's not good enough. That's not good enough. I need a little bit more for that.
Okay.
Shapat, this one. I'm coming to you. Shapat, you already Yahanna?
Sir. Also, like at the same time, a drunk when he's drinking, he's not sober minded, but also like not emotional. Emotional you can be drunk with your emotion as well.
I'll take that. Come on.
Sober, not affected by alcohol, not drunk, serious, sensible.
Okay, no, that the alcohol, that's in the physical context, all right? In the physical context, all right? Yeah, go a little easy on the wine. And you trying to justify your cup. I see in the spirit. I see in the spirit what's going on for guy one. You're going to come out here with the whole bottle. That way nobody could look at you funny because you done gave them, Nah, I'm just joking. I'm just teasing you. Yeah, some of these brothers had to drive. That's why. You know what I mean? Be mindful. I'm just teasing your brother, right? Make me want to drink now. I'm not. And Satan telling me, look at these niggas drinking up all the wine. You drinking water. You corny square. So wine now. All right, so the sober for the alcohol, that's another context, right? Because you could drink alcohol and be sober minded, and you could not drink. You could not drink alcohol and be totally drunk, right?
Here's another more answer. Serious, sensible, and solemn. A sober view of life.
Solemn is good. Give me what solemn means. Somebody else look up solemn. You have any more there?
A sober view of life.
Yeah, please go ahead.
His expression became sober.
Anybody else could who could have hooked this up for me? Give me a smokes. No, sure.
I got solemn, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Solemn, formal and dignified, not cheerful or smiling, serious, characterized by deep sincerity.
Okay, I'll take that. Anything else?
I have another definition of solemn, marked by invocation of a religious sanction.
A religious sanction. I like that shit. Sanction yourself, nigga. That's gonna be my new shit. Sanction your goddamn self, man. Yeah, put some borders on that shit you got going on, man.
That's right.
I like that shit, Bukwash. Sanction yourself, man. At the camp that's behind the signs. The other niggas there, I sanction these niggas here. The other niggas outside, Lord be with them, whatever they did or did not do. But I did not witness shit. My name is Juju. And I came in a car that was not a car, but it was a black car. All right? Please. That was it?
That was a concept.
All right? So being sober-minded, not being swayed, being immovable, being a rock, because the situation is coming to move you. The lie is to move you. And it's to be sanctioned, where you can't move. Listen, I'm on the sanctions like Russia. Nothing could move in and out.
Right.
Not even their money. Listen, now they're forcing Russian millionaire / billionaire business owners who operate outside of Russia to sell their companies.
Yeah.
They're freezing their assets, right? Because this is a sanction all the way on Russia. 2 water, 2 water. Good to go. You gotta put the coals on it, then. The rocks. Oh, you haven't? No sweat. You could step up if you need to. All right. What Yahanna? You?
Yes, so like I said, with another word, steadfast.
Stand fast, be nailed to the wire, immovable. That's the best way I could say it. Or be disciplined.
Right.
Be disciplined. Go ahead.
So, I was gonna say clear-minded, not being distracted.
Being clear-minded, but you have to have discipline to be clear-minded. Because your mind you have so much things to work on. We in captivity and trying to build a nation. It's ridiculous because you still have to slave, pay bills, find your bread. And as you find in your bread, you have to make sure you don't have no pork, no shrimp, no crab, no lobster. You got to make sure your rib and your children obeying it. You yourself had to obey shit and still go to a slavery and still go to camp and do this. It's a whole lot you got to deal with, but to not, what is it said? To not be distracted and be clear-minded. You want to have so much. You have to have so much discipline and focus on. Well, this is what matters. Oh, the car crash and it's written off. Okay, no sweat. When's camp?
Right.
You have to be so dead here that nothing is moving you off, and things is going to come to move you off. It's going to get you off. It's designed to do that. That's what it's there for. It's supposed to move you off. And you're going to just have to be so zeroed in on the shit. It's discipline. It's absolute just discipline. And that's it. It's just straight up and down discipline. And go ahead.
Yeah, it reminds me of
TITHES 2 and 1 for me. Start at 1. Go ahead.
One of my father's childhood friend is a pastor. And like last year, 2 years ago on Facebook, he started to speak openly about how church or Christianity is like worldly. Like he was saying, how come we celebrate Christmas, and how come we don't celebrate the holidays that's in the Bible?
Mm-hmm.
Like he's a pastor saying that, so his members in the comments will say that, and then I would chime in like, well, the UPK, we celebrate the holidays in the Bible.
Right.
And he would attack it, but then all of a sudden, for a whole month, he was just bringing out stuff like, how come this, how come that? And then he stopped because he realized once he sanctioned himself from Christianity, he would be out of his church.
Or the church will sanction him.
Yeah, the church will sanction him.
Yep.
It was amazing to see, because I was, okay, well, he's on a path of, seeing how
he wasn't on the path. That's the thing. He wasn't on the path at all. What he was doing was trying to change the tide in the church, hoping that the members would follow him.
Okay, come.
He was, if he was on the path, what would he do?
No, he would have just left.
No, he'd have bring the church here.
Okay, come.
He'd have bring everybody here, or say, listen, I'm turning over the church to y'all. Y'all come in. I'm gonna make sure they're here. All this tithe money is yours. Come in here and change. If he was on the path,
Right.
But he wasn't on the path. What he was trying to do, his members is hearing us on the corner and coming and asking him the questions. So because he can't answer it, he now has to start to answer the questions in the church to try to change the tide in the church to keep his members. And
because he was the only pastor that he would speak out about, like, okay, God, hey, speak out against not watching porn and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like he that last year, 2 years, he really was trying to like you said, change the tide of
he wasn't speaking about them homosexuals though. He wasn't speaking out against the white man. Nah, he once again he's trying to protect his pocket, and he was just trying to get in front of the shit so he could be hip. It could be like a style, which is how this thing is to a Christian. A Christian, this thing is, wow, so and so and so and so for 3 months, you're radical. And then you had to pay a bill. and then they repo your car once, and then you realize, well, you know, life has to go on. So I had to cut this beard because, you know, since I grow this beard and I stopped eat pork, bad things been happening to me. So, you know, I'm just going back to how shit was, and you know, that's that. You know, see y'all. Hey, Shalom, man. Ain't no sweat. Yeah, you want me to do?
He been quiet. He been quiet. He ain't even saying the same shit.
Yeah, they ain't gonna say nothing now. You know what I mean? Let me get tight. So it's 2-1 real quick. Anybody had their hand up again? That was it. 2-1. Mathia, you got it? Go ahead.
This is the book of Titus, chapter 2, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 2. That the aged man be sober, grave, temperate, sound in faith, and charity.
Right. Speak the things that become sound doctrine. What does that mean? Sound doctrine.
I mean, solid truth, unmovable.
Exactly. It's if Christ ain't back in 100 years, whatever you learn in here is still going to be true.
Right.
There's nothing that's going to change it. Some of them fake Israelites say how the truth evolves. So what came out in 69 can't be true now. Let's look at all the technological changes. Nigga, is a faggot still a faggot?
Right.
Is this still active? Is a homosexual? Let me wheel that shit back in. Is a sodomite still a sodomite? Is the sodomite in 69 still a sodomite today? Is it a different type? Is it a technologically advanced sodomite? Is he some sort of, you know, binary, you know, effing android sodomite? He's still a sodomite today. The same way. Niggas is getting high today, just like they was getting high in, you know, 69.
Right.
You get the point? The truth is sound doctrine. It's sound.
Right.
It's absolutely sound, no matter what's going on. What's going on is, you know, immovable. You get the point? Go ahead.
And that's why you don't know Christian Israelites is Christian because it's Christian because Christians only told. That's why even Christians. My whole was a deacon and other Christians who I were battle when I first came to the truth. They would say, well, you know, things are different now. You know, those, you know, the times are the same as when Christ was around. Because I would teach them about the law that we're supposed to be following.
Right.
And they think because it's 2000, it was 2011.
Right.
Oh no, you know, it's not the same as when Christ was around. So things have changed.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Listen, 1,000 years ago in USSR, this literal same thing that's going on now happened 1,000 years ago. 1,000 years ago. The same people fighting, the same trade, the same governments against each other, the same enemies today, but we're going to look up to be friends like how Russia and China is. That happened 1,000 years ago. Right. Over 1,000 years ago. What am I talking about? Right? This was, no, about 1,000 years ago. So in what, 70 years? 50, 60 years, something like that? 50 years, right? 53? 52 down here on Passover. Y'all slow tonight. Y'all slow tonight. 53 years. You mean to tell me that the truth evolved? Okay, nigga. All right. Thank the Lord. I've learned from men to have sound, absolute sound doctrine. Sound doctrine. I will not be moved by shit. Go ahead,
This is where that child blessing get. This is from the Malachi, New York.
Mm-hmm.
He used to say stuff like sound right reasoning. And I'm reading this verse. I see where he got it from.
He could say it, but whatever he was teaching was not sound or right reasoning at all. All right. Where else we are? Come on, Matthew.
He believed the lie.
He believed the lie. Exactly. Tawara. He believed the lie. Lizard appeared to you and tell you that's your God. You believe that shit. Go ahead.
And patience. Verse 3.
Right. Read it again from 2.
This is the book of Titus, chapter 2, verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
That the aged men be sober, grave.
What's grave mean?
Serious.
Right? Serious. Let me see if I get a little more on it. I'll take serious for sure. Hold on. Having a serious and dignified quality. Grave, as in death. Coming from the grave, a burial place. Meriting serious consideration. You're going to have to be grave, sober-minded. Go ahead.
Temperate.
Temperate. What does that mean?
Hardened.
Hardened. I like that. Hardened. How? How does that hardening come?
With the soil, you heat it and then you douse it in either water or oil.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's oil.
Depends on what you want. Is oil or water? Go ahead.
To bring down the temperature very drastically to have the molecules contract so it can be harder than what it was before.
And as the molecules contract, and yeah, I see you watching the Science Channel. Me too. Me too. As the molecules contract and get tight, what happens?
Another molecule is pushed out.
What other molecule is pushed out? Hold on, give him a chance.
Okay.
Either the Science Channel or you're paying attention. I believe I broke this down. Go ahead.
It's H2O.
No, come on, you're reaching now.
The impure.
The impurities. The impurities. The heat, it melts the metal, and when it cools down, it forms brand new bonds and gets stronger. And as it contracts so rapidly, whatever is not metal gets squeezed out. You put it back in the fire and it gets burnt. Then you take it out and you cool it again fast. And as it gets stronger, you start cooling it in different mediums. Like how you have the oil, or sometimes they use brine or mud. And that now makes a hardened thing that's tempered, meaning it went through several extreme conditions and did not break. It was tempered. It went through a whole lot and did not break. You have to be temperate. You have to be able to go through this shit and not budge. You gotta not budge. Because if you budge, you change the truth. You change the doctrine, so your life is easier. Like them purple sodomites. Right? They change the doctrine so their life is now easier. You get the point? You can't be like that. You have to be temperate. Let the world evolve. You can't. You cannot. You have to be sober. You cannot believe the lie. You absolutely just cannot believe the lie. You get the point? Yeah, a lot of us got tested with that damn vaccine. Got fully tested with the vaccine, and the proof was what?
Nothing happened.
Say again?
Nothing happened.
No, a lot of shit happened.
Those who got it, who didn't get it.
Yeah, it showed. It showed.
Yep.
It showed where everybody was like, "Oh, pray for me." I ain't making fun of you. But it showed. It showed where now you running, making calls, looking for the damn thing. It was a test. The Lord give you a test run. Because Moses told us, kill the lamb, save the blood, put it over the door. We have a law about not doing that shit. Moses said, "Go do it. Go do the shit." You get the point? Go ahead. Not a law against saving the blood and putting it on the door, but saving the blood for consumption. But culturally, it's not our practice to save blood. It's to let that shit run down into the drain, run down into the earth. You get the point? Go ahead, give me some more. What's this shit at? Oh, Salaki.
Sound in faith.
In charity. In patience.
Sound in faith, in charity, and patience. In faith is what? What you believe, right? What you believe meaning what? Give me the UPK answer. What is faith?
Your actions, your work.
Your work. Sound in your work. Your work ethic can't drop because, whatever. It just can't flake. It can't fail. It can't drop. You get the point? Sound in faith. Sound in charity and patience. What's charity?
Works.
A little more. Brotherhood. Charity is brotherhood in the Bible. Charity is not, given to the poor and this, that, the other, even though those are charitable actions. But charity is brotherhood.
Okay.
Brotherhood and patience. Why patience?
Why patience?
1 second, I'm coming to you. Let me know when you're ready to pass it.
Okay. When you need, patience is needed because of brothers is. You need patience for your forgive them.
I'll take that.
Patience to not believe the lie.
Patience to not believe the lie. I'll take that. I need a little more, but I'll take that.
It's like, sir, for me, patience takes time to develop so you can see things unfold.
Patience will take the time. You take any time to see things through versus doing what?
Giving up on the brother or sister.
Versus and what is giving up?
Meaning, okay, that's what I mean the forgiveness part. So, like, say, like if you're raising a school up, a brother or sister might do something wrong, and you chastise them. Either if you have patience, you'll chastise them and teach them and show them the right way, like how they should have done it the right way. If you don't, you'll like, all right, don't come back to the school. Bye. Don't come back.
Okay, it goes further than that because you could have you chastising, and this person's not listening. So now you have to have patience versus giving up, because giving up is what? Believing the lie. What's the lie?
To give up.
To fight him or kill him. I don't know.
The lie here with the patience is. Okay, how to describe it if you say it again. In essence, the lie is you don't need whoever it is. That's the lie. You understand?
Yeah.
That's the lie. That's what make you get rid of people. Because I can do bad all by myself. Right? But you're doing bad. I seen your last Instagram post. It looked horrible. You're so right about that, but you're not by yourself though. You're with them demons. You're with Legion now.
Right.
You understand? The lie is you don't need nobody. You get the point? Now, of course, there comes a time when the Bible says deliver such an one to Satan. But that's not your burden. That's leadership burden. That's not your burden. But here, the patience is because somebody was once patient with your dumbass and mine. You get the point? That's the patience. You're going to have that patience. You're going to have to be able to develop it. And if you can't, you get counsel so somebody could sanction you.
Right.
Shut your mouth. Don't say that no more. Don't talk to so-and-so no more. Don't go there no more. If you go and so-and-so, call me first. You want to go do this? Okay, no problem. Give me a call every time you want to go do this. Now somebody has to temper you. Somebody has to sanction you, restrain you, make you patient. Exercise it's like having a trainer at the gym. You get the point? Some people go to the gym themselves, wake up on time, go to the gym on time, work out, like really work out, not going there and bullshit and bullshit. Really work. And then some people, they're motivated by a trainer and gym equipment and clothes and sneakers and you know what I mean? Like it's going to the club. And they need that person, they need the trainer, they need the apps, they need the Fitbit, they need this, that, the other to do it. Because Arawadi is a wildcat here. I'm not making fun, I'm just showing you the difference. They need that person, they need those things to temper them. And that's fine. But the minute you stop, now you're in some problems. You get the point? Let's keep reading real quick.
Verse 3, the aged woman, likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers.
Not what?
False accusers.
Because why? More lies. Like when the more you understand this thing, it's really a lie that starts it all. It's something that's just not the truth, and it never was dealt with.
Right.
It was never stepped into. It was never approached. It was never confronted.
Right.
And then it take root and it grow and it becomes a whole living person right now.
Right.
And that's it. Get the point?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Not giving too much wine. Teachers of good things.
Go ahead.
Verse 4. That they may teach the young woman to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children. Verse 5. To be discreet.
Go ahead.
Chastise.
Chaste.
Chaste. Chaste. Keepers at home. Good. Obedient to their own husbands. That the word of God be not blasphemed.
Blasphemed.
Verse 6. Young men, likewise, exhort to be sober-minded.
Exhort to be sober-minded. Like the whole theme here is just remain in control of yourself. Don't be swayed by shit, man. Just remain in control. Right. What's true? That's it. First and foremost, what is true?
Right.
After that, that's just your bullshit. Your inability to stay straight. Your inability to not be strong, sober-minded. What else they say? Patient, obedient. All these adjectives they use. Anything else is your inability to do it. You bending, you're leaning. You have to be straight. Now, how you get there, you're going to have to get trained and coached how to get there. You don't get there on your own because this world tells you, your feelings matter. That emotion you're going through, that's real. That's why it feels so, what Facebook says as soon as you log on. What's on your mind, so-and-so? F you, Facebook. That's what's on my mind. Like, shit. Goddamn. You're going to have to get trained on how to just be here. Straight down to the point, and that's that. Your whole life could fall apart tonight. You end up in the shelter. What's true? What is true at that point? What is true on that point if Lord forbid it happen, and you end up in a shelter? What's true at that point?
What's true is you don't have a home.
No.
The white man is still the devil.
The white man was the devil when you had a house.
Right.
And he's still the devil now when you're in another house. Okay. It's not that you don't have a house. You're in a house.
Right.
You're not on the street. You had to, sleep with one eye open because somebody could come take your shit on the street.
Right.
He's still the devil. Is the Jew still black? Is the UPK still the home of the truth? All right, then. Now, everything else you feeling, fuck it. Excuse my language. Right. You get the point? Sometimes you just had a man up in the shit. Sisters too, you had a man up in the shit. They're pulling them big girl drawers now. You get the point? Your brothers, you had a good up. Sometimes that's the situation. The situation requires you to just man to hell up in the shit, man. Right. And just be straight. Right. Straight as an arrow. And what you will find is the Lord going to look and be like, damn. Let me send some relief down there because this dude here, he's resisting. He's resisting the storm. He's strong. Everybody like to watch a movie where, somebody fighting something and... this is Mel Gibson, Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis get famous over Die Hard. You remember Die Hard? Right. And they could finish the movie one leg, one arm, bent all the way up, all effed up. And everybody's like, damn, he really fought. Right. What do you think the Lord looking at you for? To look pretty? He want to see you get down and dirty with the shit. And your test, everybody test is going to come. Your test is going to goddamn come. Okay. And what you going to do? You going to fold? I hope so. I hope not. Hope you hold it down. POP. Hold it down. Mama, I love you. I hope you hold that shit down. You know what I mean? I hope you hold that shit down because, boy, there's people coming after you. There's people coming after you that's going to need you to be strong. That's going to need you to forget your problems so you could now listen to their problems. And what you gonna do? Say, nah, hey, listen, man, leave me alone, man. I stubbed my toe this morning. Fuck you gonna do? You're gonna have to be in a position to take their calls and solve their problems from a shelter, from homeless, from jobless, from eviction notices, from whatever. To take your kids, the kid's sick, kid die, people die, whatever. You still gonna have to be on your duty, on your job. And your feelings have nothing to do with a goddamn job. Everything is a job. What you do here is a job. Your personal life now is a job. Your marriage is a job. Your marriage is a job. You waking up in the office. You wake up in the morning. Nigga, you on the job. What you gonna do? Not show up for work? You don't want to deal with this job no more. I'm your boss, nigga. Be on your goddamn job. Be on your job. Now this is a job you gotta die out of, and that's just that. All right, we good with it? Any more questions? Let me get them real quick, and we're going into no sweat. Let me hear the two online, and then this one.
Matthew Brandon says, Salakia, sir, can I get a breakdown of James 1:26-27? Salakia, when it says religion, what is it talking about?
No sweat. What's the other one?
And the other one is from Jeremiah Judah 7,000. Explain Deuteronomy 21:10-14.
Okay. Jeremiah Judah what?
7,000.
Wow. That's the evolution, sir.
Listen, the brothers in here is prophets. Like, I ain't got to say shit no more.
Question mark. Explain.
Shalom, sir. You have a shit like that?
Yeah, this nigga just
no sweat. No sweat, sir. I'm gonna put it on for next week.
Yeah.
No sweat, sir.
I should have said explain the white girl.
Right.
Like a post. Like you want to put like a post? Yeah. Yeah. Let me hit Marah. He could do it because you're doing it the normal way. Okay. Count. Yeah, it will pop right up. Okay, count. And then people will be expecting you on 9 anyway from all the weeks, and then this one is live. Okay, count. You have some thoughts. Okay, what was the other one?
The first one was, can you give a breakdown on James 1:26-27? So, like, sir, when it says religion, what is it talking about?
Yeah. What was the other one?
And the other one is explain Deuteronomy 21:10-14.
Deuteronomy 21:10. Okay, no, sorry. And Kazak, what was yours?
I just had a question about Ecclesiasticus 33 and not get up to it. Ecclesiasticus 33 and 22, sir.
33 and 22. Let me hear it.
Come, sir. Ecclesiasticus chapter 33, verse 22. And in all thy works, keep to thyself the preeminence. Leave not a stain in thy honor.
Yeah, that's a cool one there, boy. Right, read one more time.
In all thy works, keep to thyself the preeminence. Leave not a stain in thine honor.
All right, anybody know what preeminence means? Let's look it up. A little bit of old English.
Preeminence, the fact of surpassing all others, superiority, supremacy.
All right, anything else?
I just have superiority or the quality or state of being preeminent.
Okay, maybe look up preeminence. Oh, that's good too. Maybe look up preeminence.
Preeminent, having paramount rank, dignity or importance, outstanding, supreme.
All right, that's more what you want. Paramount. We gotta look up paramount now. Fucking dictionary, boy. Like a rabbit hole. Time.
Paramount, more important than anything else.
Isaiah, is he closer to you?
I think it'd be like halfway point.
Is halfway or is closer? It'll be easier if he take him.
It's no sweat.
You could grab him.
Don't go.
Ain't no sweat. That's the why with you.
It's what
It'll be easier. Yeah, that'll work. That way he could run with the whole thing. 2 out of 2 out. Appreciate that definitely. You know what I mean? Say it again.
Khan. Paramount, more important than anything else. Supreme, having supreme power.
Paramount, more important than anything else. Having supreme power. So we're looking at a certain dignity. What does it say before that? With dignity?
It said having paramount rank, dignity or importance, outstanding, supreme.
Right, having paramount rank, dignity, or something outstanding and supreme. Right. So now read the scripture one more time.
Ecclesiastes.
Y'all gonna see each other Saturday now. You're like the airport and Bukash about to take a trip. That's brotherhood. For guy boys, like, man, hold it down, POP. Nah, that's too wild, though. Bukash look at me like, damn, you gonna break me up now? Yeah, man.
Ecclesiastes chapter 33, verse 22. And all thy works keep to thyself the preeminence. Leave not a stain in thine honor.
No sweat, sir.
Okay, yeah, say it one more time.
And all thy works keep to thyself the preeminence. Leave not a stain in thine honor.
Right. So in other words, in all your works, keep that level of superiority that you would have gained, your dignity, your respect. Keep it. Work hard to keep it. Why? Hold on. Come on. No answer the question. Tell me what it's going to say.
Oh, it's like I was going to say, always keep your garment on.
Okay, this is another level up from that. This is another level up from that. John had his garments on all the way. You know what I mean?
Work hard to keep it because you could lose it just like that.
Lose what?
Your respect, your reputation.
Reputation. That's a good word for it. The reputation you would have gained from what?
Your superiority or your
how you get that superiority?
Your works.
A little more.
Your discipline.
Your discipline. It's a little bit different. Go ahead.
It's like the Lord give you all the honor and the representation of having ranks and stuff.
How does he give you all the honor?
By doing the works.
You onto it now.
Following his rules.
You onto it.
Like so.
Being reliable and obeying.
That's how you maintain it. You get it the minute you come into the truth. You get that preeminence. It's like having bad credit. Then somebody fixes your credit, or you start at 0 after bankruptcy.
Right.
Maintain your preeminence. And then you just say, oh shit, new credit or good credit, right. Run it up.
Right.
You get the point? It's like you now having a totally fresh start. From here on out, you just building and maintaining what you have. And then something could come and stain your work, stain your reputation. But you have to maintain it. How you maintain it? By being reliable, obeying the Lord. How else you maintain it?
Officer Shabbat said discipline.
Discipline, something else. Go ahead.
No, sorry, you go.
No, you go.
Oh, it's like if you can ask, I'm trying to you ask a question again, sir?
I mean, how you maintain it?
There's some of what we just read in Titus 2-6, and what you said at the end, just being in control of yourself.
Or not believing a lie.
Okay.
Not believing the lie. And in this case, what would be the lie? it's all good. I done did XYZ, or this one little thing is not going to matter. That's the lie. So one little bit of slackness here, I do it. That's it. You know what I mean? Paul said, I stay under myself. Let's pull that scripture for me.
Okay.
Oh, shit. Almost got me.
First Corinthians chapter 9, verse 27. But I keep under my body and bring it into subjection.
Into what?
Into subjection.
Into what?
Into subjection.
Into subjection. I sanction it. I keep under myself. Go ahead.
Lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway.
That's why. You maintain your preeminence. You maintain it. Lest after you done taught people, it will, of course, rising up and teaching people. Now you done get simple.
Right.
But it starts with all before, as you're learning coming up. You watching your step, you're circumspect. Right. I believe that's in the scripture too. There's another scripture with that.
Okay.
Hold on. Is it circumspect?
It's Ephesians 5 and 15, sir.
Please, let me hear it.
Come on. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 15. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise.
Walk circumspectly, not as what?
Not as fools, but as wise.
What would make you a fool?
Believing a lie.
You lie. That's what would make you a fool.
Oh, God.
Nobody holds somebody who doesn't know any better. Nobody gonna hold you too tough.
Right.
But it's worse when what?
When you know better.
When you know better. And somehow you didn't do better.
Right.
That's what makes it worse. Because you ain't listening to the truth, you listen to a lie.
Right.
You get the point?
Okay.
So it's that. It's maintaining the preeminence is really just being so disciplined. And it's not being disciplined like you all stuck up and shit. It's just, you weighing all your steps according to what you learn.
Right.
And what's right and what's wrong. And how you handle this and how you handle that. And that's really just it.
Okay.
According to what you learn, you weigh in your steps like that. This is not talking about making a mistake. This is when you just believe the lie. You did something stupid. And that can start to stain on your reputation.
Right.
And now you don't have that preeminence. So now, even if you say in something that's right, it's nobody want to hear from you.
Okay.
And that's in the Bible too. That's in Ecclesiasticus 6, where your words is like banging cymbals. Let me Ecclesiasticus 6. I'll give you a better one. Oh boy. Unseasoned. No, that's not it. That's the better one. I think it's Ecclesiasticus 6. You see it?
Lie, sir.
What does he want to prove? Not a prove a friend first.
That is Ecclesiastes 6 and 7.
Okay, it's not right around there. You have it?
Well, no, that's what you was looking for, right? Prove a friend.
No, I think it's right there. Nothing there with symbols.
Lie, sir.
You said with symbols.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I quoted in the wrong scripture. Right, but okay, this is just saying, be mindful of how you move, how you step as you're in the truth. Be mindful of it. You want to maintain your preeminence. You want maintain that dignity that you start with. You get a fresh start. You get to start over. Don't take that shit for granted. Don't become a whole ton of salakia, man. Don't be all, don't be extra heavy on the salakia. Everything for you is salakia. Everything, everything, because you just full of salakias.
Right.
Because in your mind, somebody has to forgive you. Right? Somebody just has to forgive you because you say salakia. When you're not growing right. Because you're not fighting shit.
Right.
You just, salakia, whatever. Salakia, it's just that. I hope I explained it right for you. You understand what I'm saying? You wanna have a certain amount of backbone, a certain amount of integrity. That's what I'm looking for. Certain amount of integrity where you maintaining that reputation, you maintaining your preeminence, you're maintaining your dignity. You understand? You don't want to do or put yourself in a position where that shit is compromised now.
If I may, I learned since I've been in here that you mess up on something and somebody corrects you or check you. It's better to just say call out of a con and fix it than have a bunch of excuses and say why you did it and all that. That's irrelevant. You fix it and do it right next time.
Yeah. Now, if you're struggling with something, you could definitely come and get counsel on it. Mm-hmm. But that's not for this thing here. That's just for being disciplined. This thing here is once you do learn. This is not you not knowing better. You get the point? Okay. That situation that you're talking about is a young man's battle. When you come in, you're young, you don't really understand too much. You don't know too much, and you get a ton of checking. God. You get checked till it seems like you're getting checked for everything. God. It's like, well, goddamn, shit, you want me in here or not? You know what I mean? That's how it feels, right? Yeah. Because you're young, and to you, somebody correcting you, is hate. This is for after you done been on the job for 6 months. Right. You get the point? This is you done pass your probation. You by now you should know how to do this job. Right. You get the point? This is that thing there, and now you make a rookie mistake, but you're not a rookie. Right. You understand? There's a blessing that comes with being in your 90 days a trooper and a young officer. There's a blessing that comes at that stage. Now, y'all see these brothers getting oil poured on their head and shit. Do not be envious of that shit, because you don't get the phone calls they get. You know how to sit on the phone. Some men will be hearing the deep breath. I'll be here. So why is this not? Because he pacing himself to not reply. And I'm on the next line like, yeah, reply. Go ahead. Say it. It's the Russian standoff, right? Because you don't want to be in that phone call, because now at this point, he knows better. He knows what he has to do, or she, depends on the sister. But at a certain stage, there's not much expectation from you, because you're still being groomed, you're still being tailored, you're still being chopped, you're still being, machined into something useful. You get the point? And at that point, you should accept your check-in. Right? That's the point to, well, so-and-so, I did this because. That's the point to do that. Now you go through a few winters and some oil get poured on your head a couple times. Don't nobody care about what you wanted and your misunderstanding and your misinterpretation and shit. At this point, your job is to get the job done. And why you didn't get this done again? And now I have to listen to why it didn't happen? Right. No. It's not. It's that. Right. You get the point? So it's different what you say. This year is now, this is a situation where you know better. Yeah. You know better. Situations happen and you carry and conduct yourself a certain way. You carry and conduct yourself a certain way because you're maintaining that thing. And you want to do it at all times. Now, could you mess up? Hell yeah, you could. Hell yeah, you could. You could mess it up. But the scripture is telling you, maintain your preeminence. Just maintain that thing. Keep that dignity. Keep your integrity. Don't compromise. Don't listen to the lies. Stand on what you know is the truth. Stand on what you know is correct stand on what you know is right.
Right.
You get the point? You maintain that preeminence. You know what I mean? You don't want to just be full of salakias. You know what I mean? You want to maintain a certain thing. And it's painful. It comes with pain. It comes with being tested. It comes with being tried. You get the point? And that's the best I could explain it for you. You understand what I'm saying? It's just maintaining your integrity. That's what I would say. Maintain your integrity the best way you can. That's all the way through. Not the best way you can. The best way you've been taught to maintain it. Maintain your integrity like that. All right? No sweat. Let me get some of this thing here before we roll. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna come to them last two questions after. All right. Okay, so now we have. You see what's going on worldwide, right? I think Biden is now talking about possibly invading Ukraine. He's talking some shit about, if it is they had the nuclear capabilities, we had to do something, blah, 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 blah. And China has been, in the play. Russia is heavy in the play now. So now you have, backtrack a little bit to just after World War II, 1944, you had something called the Bretton Woods Conference. Bretton Woods Conference. Somebody look that up real quick. Bretton Woods Conference. BRETTONWOODS. I'm not sure if it's one word or two words. Bretton Woods Conference. Go ahead, Pagaiboa.
I have 1944 and 2021.
Let's get 1944.
Color. The Bretton Woods Conference, formerly known as the United Nations Monetary and Financial Conference, was the gathering of 730 delegates from all 44 allied nations at the Mount Washington Hotel.
Mm-hmm. Where's the Mount Washington Hotel? Did they say? Go ahead.
That's in New Hampshire, sir.
New Hampshire, right? Up on the East Coast. What's that? Massachusetts?
It's above Massachusetts.
Above Massachusetts, right? Up there. So this is a gathering of all the allied states. How much of them was? 74?
40, so like 730 delegates from 44 nations.
730 delegates from 44 nations. Any more on it? And what it was for?
To regulate the international monetary and financial order after the conclusion of World War II.
Right. After the conclusion of World War II, you had the Bretton Woods Conference, which was to regulate what?
The international monetary and financial order.
The international monetary and financial order. Meaning, after World War II, the world was in bad shape with economies, with trade.
Right.
So some of them countries was not surviving.
Right.
And they needed to regulate the economic landscape. Right. And and put monetary order in place. Monetary order meaning what? See whose dollar is supreme,
right,
and whose dollar is going to run shit. And then go ahead.
This last thing, I think it applies. The two major accomplishments of the conference were the creation of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, IBRD.
And that, I think that later became the World Bank, right? The IMF and the World Bank came out of that conference. In that conference, they also decided that the US dollar was going to be the world's dollar, right? It was going to be the world's dollar. It was going to be the new global currency for the world, meaning that this was going to be the top dollar and every dollar was going to be relative to that dollar, right? That's going to be the number one dollar in the world, and that's that. Come on.
Was that the dollar that Gaddafi was trying to get spread to, he was trying to sell the oil with gold?
Okay, we go in there. We go in there a little bit. All right, we go in there. But at this time, this is just America saying, since we had to step in and help everybody, we lost a lot of good boys from Utah. You're going to now spend our money. You understand? Go ahead.
it was either today or yesterday. Belarus just teamed up with Russia now officially to fight
Magog. Magog.
Right.
This Gog and Magog. That's it. Some gonna come willingly, some gonna have to submit.
Right.
And that's just no, it's just a normal thing. It happened with Saul and David. Get the point?
Okay.
After some went willingly, some had to submit. And Abner was gonna make that's what Abner told David. He said, I'll translate the kingdom to you, meaning Abner was gonna roll through and say, you're gonna have to roll with David, or we're gonna kill you. Then Abner was killed, and then David had to go do the same thing Abner was going to do.
Right.
You understand? Like it's just life, right? So now, also, because this was the world's dollar, America was going to be the only country that could print that money, right? So America, in that conference, they decided that America could print their own money, which means what really?
I mean, that's what they call it, inflation.
It's going to lead to a ton of inflation, but there's a protection against that too in a way for America. But it's definitely going to lead to inflation, what happened in 1971, right? But what does it mean essentially?
That America can decide how much everybody get or who gets it.
This is where the American dollar was like a resource, a natural resource, like wood or wool or oil. You get the point? This was now a commodity, damn near. You understand?
Right.
Because the world, this would be the dollar of the world, which means if I have to do any significant trading,
right,
I have to first get that dollar in order to trade. Okay. Not get oil or wool or flax or whatever. I have to get that dollar, which means that dollar is now a commodity, which is how you get the exchange rates and money markets, right?
Right.
Now, if that's the case, America now has a steady demand for a product,
right,
which is the dollar.
Yeah, but it's not, if I may add, the American dollar is how you trade oil.
Well, that's what we go into right now. But this is where it started.
Right.
It started with this conference here, right? So as the brother brought out from that conference, you had the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, and the World Bank, right? The World Bank. Now, as time went on, they're in control of America's dollar. Different countries had fluctuating values of their dollar, but because they was using the American dollar, it helped to kind of buffer the amount that it would sway by, right? Then you had in 1971, you had inflation and recession happening at the same time, and this was bad for the world's economies, right? It was bad for the world's economies, especially the countries of OPEC. Anybody know what OPEC is? By definition, come on.
Okay, sir. It's the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries.
The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, otherwise known as the oil cartel or the oil mafia, right? This is a group of countries that have a significant amount of oil that form the organization. Who is the head of OPEC? Let's look it up. Just look it up. Just look it up. Don't guess. You know it?
I would say Saudi Arabia.
It might be.
President Nicolas Maduro.
No, I think that's the South American one. It said he's the president of OPEC?
Well, it says OPEC president. Hold
on, Mathia.
Iraq.
You looked it up or you guessing?
No, I looked it up. It said Iraq, Baghdad, Iraq.
Backed by who? Iraq? You all have that? Who you have?
It said it was founded in Baghdad, Iraq.
All right, who else? Go ahead. Shapat?
I got Saudi Arabia, which controls about 1/3 of OPEC's total oil reserve, plays a leading role in the organization.
Saudi Arabia controls OPEC, right? You could say they're the head of OPEC.
Right.
Not Maduro is Venezuelan's president. Venezuela has the largest oil reserve in the world. Is the largest or the second largest? I think it's the largest. The largest oil reserve in the world, meaning untapped oil. But Maduro has something similar to OPEC with South America and the Caribbean countries, right? But it's not OPEC. OPEC is, run by them Saudis. Basically, they decide the price of oil and shit like that.
So like if I may, and there's 5 members of it, which is Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi, and Venezuela.
That's main members, but at this time here, you had more members of the oil production and exporting countries. It was more than those. You had Latin American countries, you had Russia involved, Asia, I believe Japan too. Some of them Asian territories was in it as well. Go ahead.
So the white man allows the Arabs to make up their own prices.
Okay, well, yes and no. Once again, politics is a game of snakes.
Right.
So now, okay, let's get to it here, right? You have OPEC. What happened with OPEC? At this point, with the inflation and the recession that was happening throughout the world, and that hit a lot of these oil production companies, they later now decide to form a alliance with the countries that suffered it, right? Mainly America and Britain. They decided that they needed across the board system of controlling the flow of money in the earth and the flow of money through countries.
Right.
In 1977, they decided, or 79, I believe, it might be 79. They decided that the Saudi Arabians agreed that the US dollar would be used for all oil trade. Right now, this was after they had that recession and inflation in 71.
Right.
Or a lot of oil producing countries was on the high wave of that at the time, meaning, prices go up with supply and demand. In the 70s, it started to dip. And a lot of oil producing countries started going through recessions, bad recessions at that time. Venezuela was one, Trinidad was one. Now, when they allowed the US dollar to be the only dollar that oil could be bought in,
right.
This now brought in the term the petrodollar. Right? The petrodollar meaning like how you would go to a carnival or the casino. You can't put your money on the table. You have to buy casino money in order to place the bet. You have to buy oil money to buy oil. The oil money is the US dollar. Right? And this now further secured America's demand for the dollar or a resource. And at this point, you can't look at it like money. You got to look at it like this is oil coming out of a machine or paper or wool off a sheep back. You get the point? It's a commodity because it's being traded. It's being traded on world markets, the exchange rates. So now, because oil is the number one commodity in the earth, countries was not just tying their dollar to the oil, they was tying their dollar to the American dollar. Come on.
It's like that explains a lot why they don't want to drop gasoline, in cars. They still making gasoline cars. They will lose a lot.
Even though they have technological advancement. Yeah, man. The white man, he's staying sober with his shit. He ain't changing to nothing. Tesla could do whatever the hell they want. Yeah. You get the point? Solar this and solar that. He could do whatever the hell he want. But now they're staying right there on the oil. Right. Because that's the main thing. So now these countries, they're tying their dollar to the oil and to the US dollar. Which means now because of that, and America's ability to print the money, it helps destabilize world economies from inflation and serious recession. Right. It helps stabilize it because now if a particular country's dollar is too weak, what the World Bank would do is buy all of that country's money on foreign exchange markets. Meaning, for example, let's say the Venezuelan dollar was very weak, right? They would buy up all the Venezuelan money, the bolivars, everywhere else in the European market, Australia, the African market, and that does what? Make it scarce. So now there's a demand for it, which would raise the value of the money. So now you see how some money you have to pay X amount at $4 for one US, and now it goes up higher, 7 for one. That makes that country better. It does not make it better for the people. It makes it better for business. Why? Because now if I have to invest in that country, the work I could get done for $10 is more now. Because before it used to be one of this dollar was 5 of that country's dollar. Now I could get more work for $1 US. That's on that level. But for the people, it's not good. Because for the people on the ground level, their money going up means their money is worth less to buy goods. You get the point? So now they would do that. If a country's money is too strong or too high, they would flood the market with that country's currency. There's a whole ton of supply, so the demand drops, the value of that country's money drops as well. Right now, America has the strongest dollar. Right? It's the number one dollar in the world. It's the strongest dollar. It's been trading for oil since 44, but officially since 79. But really since 1944, since that Bretton Woods conference, they've been using the American dollar to trade for oil. Right? So now America has enjoyed a certain amount of world influence because of it. Also, with this deal they made with the Saudis, right? They had let me see, I'm getting the name correct. The U.S. Saudi Arabic Joint Commission on Economic Co-op. You could look it up. United States Saudi Arabic Joint Commission on Economic Cooperation. This is nothing more than two gangsters coming together to decide they're going to sell their drugs to everybody else. This is really all it is. Right? Supply and demand. I'm going to control this shit. We're going to come together. Part of this deal was Saudi Arabia, the Saudis would make sure anybody buying oil had to get US dollars first. So China who want oil, Russia who want oil, Venezuela who want oil, whoever wants oil had to first buy American money, then buy the oil. In exchange for that, any sort of development that would go on in the country with construction, engineers, technology would be paid for with US dollars, meaning they would send the contractors in to do the job. In other words, creating recycling. They damn near reincarnating the money. Just recycling the money over and over. They're giving the Saudis oil and money for the oil. The Saudis pay them, or that region, they would ensure that US contractors, US construction, infrastructure, different contractors would get the money, the US money that they done paid. Really, they were selling money. If you understand it, they were selling money. Later on, that turned into tanks and planes and guns, right, in exchange for it. You understand? What they did really was like how much people have Federal Reserves of gold and oil. Not Federal Reserve, but reserves of gold and oil that's backed, your dollar is backed by that amount. Damn near the American dollar is a commodity in itself. Right? Now, because of that, America enjoyed a certain amount of world power and influence for almost a century. Certain countries did not like that. Why? Because if America say it had to be this price, it had to be this price. And you had to play ball. And now, if it is they're going to devalue your dollar, you should out of luck now. You get the point? And that's where the IMF and the World Bank gained a lot of power by putting a lot of countries in debt. When you hear Mexicans can't buy rice, can't use their own rice, and have to import rice, this is why. When you hear the Caribbean islands can't use their own bananas and how they import bananas, even though they export bananas, this is why. because the World Bank decide to help you because your governments want some help by floating the dollar. They call it floating it, meaning making it higher. So you could now get more investors to come. In the long run, you hurt your own country. Now, for the small countries, there's no power, but bigger countries over time started to get disillusioned with America and now wanted to start trading oil in other currency. Right? In other currency, you would find they say they had records of Gaddafi talking about it. I think Saddam talking about it, and Putin talking about it. Right? They're talking about trading now in the yen. Right? They want to create the petro yen. Right? So that, the yen, which is the Chinese currency, would become the official dollar of the oil. And that would mean America would be Eastern Russia tomorrow. If that were to happen, brother, you could say goodbye to everything. You get the point? America would turn desolate tomorrow because all the money they're printing would be worthless because nobody buying it. Nobody don't need that fund, that currency for nothing. That would only be worth something here. And since America imports so much, you need that dollar to remain the dollar of oil. So now this is where you're at. Over the past decade, maybe since 2008, 2009, China has been encroaching in different territories. First off, the Chinese yen is one of the most worthless money in the world. And they devalued their own dollar, right? They made their dollar damn near nothing. Why? So when they bid on contracts outside of China, it would be the cheapest bid because one of these dollars is worth 500 million of that. You get the point? So what you paying to get development in your country using Chinese contractors is way cheaper than using American contractors or British contractors or whatever. Over the past 10 years, China been doing that. That's why they're doing a whole ton of infrastructure in South Africa, West Africa, in the Caribbean islands, in South America. You look at all them construction and infrastructure that's going on, it's Chinese contractors doing it on a huge, huge scale. And that's because they want their money floating more with international trade so they could start to get a piece of that market and to command a certain amount of stability that they could now make a play to transfer that US petrodollar and get the Saudis to now, initiate, okay, we're going to trade with the yen. America, of course, is fighting that. That shit can't happen. The European Union, with the introduction of the euro, tried to do the same thing, right? They tried to do the same thing, I think, it was 2013 or 12 or something like that. They tried to do the same thing, could be before, where they introduced the euro as the European currency to take over the US currency. And the European Union had a little collapse and the dollar became weaker than what they thought it would be. And it couldn't happen with them. Now you hear Putin saying, I think in 2018, he didn't say we're going to change the dollar, but he says everybody's saying we are abandoning the US dollar, but really in truth and in fact, the US dollar abandoned us. Right? He said that. You could pull up his quote. He said the dollar has abandoned us, which means they are now looking for an alternative where they could start trading in the dollar without it affecting, without them having to go to America for anything. All right. So now you have Russia and China having alliances with the trade. You have Russia and the Saudis. You get the point? That's what is being driven because of that trade, not just the oil, but that money, which means it makes sense for America to be drawn into the war. Because if there's any exchange of the money, this place is done. It's absolutely finished. Because in addition to printing up so much money, America has, in them financial terms, they say they call it leveraging your debt. Meaning you're able to sell your debt off and make deals with your debt so that more people inject money into you. America is in debt over $3 trillion But that don't mean nothing to America because he could just print more money. And every day people need oil. So which means they have like a steady income coming in, like unemployment. Right. You get it? Just a steady income coming into America because the world needs oil. And in order for me to buy barrels of oil for the gas or whatever else, I need to buy US dollars. So there's a steady flow coming in regardless. Right. You get the point? That's where it's at. Okay. No, go ahead.
So if I may, sir, they said 80% of the United States $100 bills are not in the United States.
It's in Russia.
It's in Russia.
It's in Russia. Okay. 80%. Oh, in addition to that, recently, I believe it's 2019, just before the pandemic, Russia and China started selling off their US dollar assets, right? Selling off their debt and their US dollar assets and selling it for Chinese yen and East Indian rupees, I think. Rupees or rubas, whatever they deal with. Which means there was a significant amount of trade. I think it was like 50% of what they held in reserve was sold off and using another currency. They say this is the first time in history that ever happened. That is so high. Right. Normally, if they do it, it would be maybe 13%, 8%, but almost 50%. That's unheard of because that's them trying to get a good bit of their trade in other dollars to try to devalue the American dollar. Right. So now they're at a crossroads because Putin is trying to gobble up more land and gobble up more territory, which means he has more economy to flow in another currency and take it away from them. They not have anything. All the more reason to get drawn down into the Third World War. Now, at the same time, these countries that are in league with America and buying and selling their currency, they are not happy with America because of the sanctions, because of the different trade embargoes. There's countries that are under sanctions and embargoes now that is not publicized. But just because America said it has to be like this so we could get these resources cheaper. And you're trading in our dollar anyway. It's like damn near you at a table with a gangster who is not compromising. So they're not happy. This is good, and this is right there in the prophecy in Revelation. Give me Revelation 18. Go ahead, Arawadi.
Does this tie into the first Gulf War?
Yes, not directly, but definitely. You could down there say every war after World War II, every single invasion, every single thing. It's just this is America's way. This is how they get to have their dollar as the number one dollar. They have the might. China wants it, but China don't have that military might hovering over the world. Right. America is the whore that sits on waters. Like America threaten you. You gonna play. Right. You get the point? Go ahead.
Yeah, that's why I always had that question of how how can America freeze Russia's banks and freeze their accounts? My question was, could Russia do the same thing to America? And they can't.
No.
The American, how you bring it out? I'm just learning just now how America made the dollar number one.
Yeah,
so that's how they're able to, because U.S. currency is number one. They can put them sanctions and freeze in other countries, but they can't do it back to.
No, and not only that, a lot of these countries have money in those offshore accounts in Cayman Islands, Switzerland, Sweden, all those neutral, quote unquote neutral countries. But those countries are also damn near under America. So, America come and say, nothing moving. Britain also, they hide a ton of money. That's how Venezuela's money is in Britain. Venezuela has like 80 million. Just look at the figure. How much million or $1 billion in gold? Not money, but it's gold in UK banks. And Maduro was calling for it when Venezuela dollar fell. You know how it fell? And Britain said, we ain't giving you shit. And Maduro is like, that's my money. But they said they ain't giving it to it.
So like, if I may, what you're bringing out is so heavy about the history of this, because this really shows So their lineage with how Rome did back in the day.
Same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yep.
It's the same thing. Everybody had their currency, but you had that Caesar money.
Right.
You had that Roman drachma, I think that's what it was called. That was the thing running. Go ahead.
I think it's almost $2 billion.
$2 billion in gold.
Yeah, 1.95 in gold.
In
Stored in
gold.
Bank of England.
Yep. And that's his money. And imagine what he could have did with it. Go ahead.
So he can't even use it, or
How he getting it?
Huh?
How he getting it?
They got to transport, or he got to go get it. Somebody.
He don't have the military might to go get it. He don't. And that's why Russia, if you remember, Russia sent some fighter jets to Venezuela to let America know, yeah, if y'all want something, we could start it anytime you're ready.
Right.
Anytime.
No, I didn't read the article, but it does say that the UK Supreme Court prevented Venezuela from accessing that money in December 2021.
And who does the UK Supreme Court answer to, you think? You get the point?
Right.
Remember Bush and Tony Blair before?
Yep.
It's they all tied together. So now this is good for now. Also, in addition to this, they've been looking for alternative currency that would not be affected by world climate, wars, and all this extra stuff. If you'll remember, I think just before the coronavirus, there was this big Chinese stock called Huawei. It's like them phones, that company. It's HAUWE something. That shit crashed and messed up UK's or UK's stock market, right? Now that's tied to the Chinese economy. And because they're looking at it like that's on the Chinese economy is unstable. Then COVID came, which makes things more unstable. So they've been looking for alternative currency called who knows what? Cryptocurrency. That's where that shit coming.
Yep.
Now everybody think cryptocurrency is the future. Nigga, that shit ain't the future. You know what the future is? Boots, braids, and beards. That's the currency of the future. And give the Lord a hand for that shit. You understand? You can go dabble in that if you want to. It's like going to the casino and buying casino money. You might win some, you might lose some. But there's a currency I know that I want to trade, and it's called slaves. And that shit ain't crypto. Right. That shit ain't on the internet. It ain't evolving. Right. It's real flesh and blood in a box with holes. You get the point? That's what I want to trade. I want to engage in that type of trade. Go ahead.
If I may, make sure that me and you, because I'm going to be selling the whips, the flogging.
Good. We're going to talk. You're going to trade in the whips. I'm going to trade in the flesh and blood. I'll trade in them. You get the point? No, that's what they're looking at, and that's where it came from, because that whole cryptocurrency thing was really them trying to get a stable electronic digital currency that can't be touched by anybody, can't be sanctioned. That's why they have the free market blockchain and the deregularized this, and they're really trying to get a currency that could cut America out. But what you don't realize is power, and there's no substitute for it. I don't care how much Bitcoin you mine. Fighter jets and stealth bombers and AK-47 still run the streets.
That's right.
And whoever has more of it and more soldiers run shit. That's it. That's the end of it. So that's where all that shit come in now, and that's where they're pushing for. You have Russia and China and those Eastern countries doing a whole lot of that, trying to take away the power from it, which even it raises the stakes on this war. A lot of people don't understand how much this thing means. These territories and power in this time means pray for Ukraine bullshit. Right. I ain't praying for nobody, because last week the American government passed $13.6 billion in aid for Ukraine. Right. Because they could print the money. Right. Which means you could have printed us some money, nigga. That's right. So I'm not praying for Ukraine. And guess what? That aid that goes for Ukraine, guess who's going to administer the aid? What do you think? What type of aid you think they need? They might need some, food banks. They might need some, portable medical centers, because all the places done bombed up. Right. They're going to need clothes. Guess who's going to be there giving them the food and taking the triage and constructing? American contractors. Right. That money coming right back into America's economy. And that's how they go. Come on.
Yeah, and I believe somebody shared on the internet. I believe I gotta see what they give. They giving something free to the Ukrainians that come. I think it's free college.
Free college and housing.
And free some other stuff. Yeah.
Free college and housing. Yep. Yep. Give me. Come on.
Oh, sir. I just seen today Red Cross. Now it's over $11 million. The Red Cross raised up.
No sweat. All that's going to be burnt up.
That's right.
And I want it burnt up so I could get real commodities.
Right.
Real life commodities that I could breed, like how niggas breed dogs.
Right.
You understand that? They ain't gonna fluctuate.
Right.
No, this is good because give me Revelations, give me first 18:4 and then jump to 18:7.
Oh, God. Revelation chapter 18, verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Verse 7. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously.
Say it again.
How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously.
America has lived so deliciously. Right. There's a term, I forget it now, I didn't write it down. There's a term, I think it's two separate terms they use for America. Hegemony is one, hegemony, which is a superpower influence over financial affairs. Like you have ridiculous influence over it, meaning you could just say something and affect people's economy.
Right.
Then what they say, America enjoyed a certain amount of, I forget the word, exuberant financial something. Like meaning they was living like, you know, like bathing in champagne damn near in the spirit when it comes to the world's finances because of this arrangement with the Saudis and the ability to print money.
Right.
So now they could go get a loan and do whatever they need to do from real money that's backed by that country's resources, but they could print the money to put it in the economy where people is going to buy the shit to buy oil and make the money to pay it back. Go ahead.
No, so like I don't mean to veer. I didn't mean to veer off, but just like on to something quick, like I think black people we really be missing just how delicious that America really has lived. Like even when you was just breaking down the oil and all that and above, like it might be simple for us to understand somebody that's rich and famous that got some cars or a couple houses and it don't seem like it's hard to see. It look like okay, that's living delicious. Until you really get into the detail, like how you just going with the banks and the oil and all that and above, like you really get to see like these cats was really like they really living delicious.
It's a difference
for generations.
It's a difference. The man who rich, whether he's stealing, selling drugs or whatever, he putting in some sort of labor for that money. Imagine you spend money, spend all your money, and just go next door and take the nigga money and spend it.
Right.
And when that money done, you just go next door and take his money and spend it. When that done, you just go down the street, open somebody's door, and say, "Yeah, bring that bag out. I need it." That's really what has been happening.
Right.
That's really it. And say, "Yeah, don't worry, I'll pay you back." And you could just print some currency, some money that's trading in oil, and then people in them houses have to buy that money before they could buy oil to cook and drive the car. So they're paying you so you could pay them back.
Right.
And when you run out of money, you just go and take more.
Right.
But it's called a loan, though. It's called a loan. That's how America is in debt. It's called a loan. But man, lend me $50 billion.
Right.
Yeah, I'll pay you back.
Right.
No problem. D-cock. And you go on again. That's the life. And she's lived deliciously. Right? Go ahead. Whoever reading.
So much torment and sorrow give her. For she said in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow and shall see no sorrow.
That's America. Right. Sit a queen and I'm no widow. Meaning like a widow who doesn't have a husband to protect her.
Right.
America is like, listen, I'm no widow. I ain't got no nigga, but I ain't no widow.
Right.
And I'm sitting pretty on top here. Nobody is good. Who will rise up against the beast?
Right.
Who could fight? Nobody could do it.
Right.
Nobody could fight this beast. Go ahead.
Come. Verse 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day.
It's coming. It's coming, boy. The plagues that come into this place is going to come quick, fast, and in a hurry.
That's right.
One after the other.
That's right.
Quick and fast. Go ahead.
Death and mourning
and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire.
Yikes. That's that thermonuclear war, boy. Death and mourning and famine, and then comes war and bombs. Go ahead.
Come on. For strong is the Lord God who judgeth her.
Why does read that last part again?
Come on. And for strong is the Lord God who judgeth her.
Why is that important to know?
To know that this is the Lord's judgment. And
that's true. Something else. Something else. Go ahead, finish what you're saying.
Police, sir?
Yeah.
That's like, okay, because the world looks at America as like even America looks at itself as the place that could never be brought down. That is unbeatable. And it's like it's gonna prove that the Lord doing it. It's like you'll know that the Lord is strong to bring this place down.
I'll take that.
Yeah, so you won't believe in a lie that America's the strongest.
That's more on it. That's more on it. That's what I was gonna say. Come on.
No, I was just gonna say to keep us mindful of not to try to take anything in our own hands.
That's the same thing.
Okay.
Like, because if you believe a lie that America is the strongest and that's it,
right,
what will you do in your frustration as you lose patience, as you stop being sober-minded? What would you do?
Pick up a gun. You
pick up a gun and go throw it away. And they're gonna kill you, brother. Yeah, but I'll take 5 pigs with me. How about you sell 5?
Right.
Legally.
Right.
In a new kingdom.
Right.
In a new establishment with no cryptocurrency.
Right.
With no US dollar. No petrodollar or nothing. Just, I got these 2 slaves here. What kind of leather you working with over there? What kind of fur you got? What kind of crowns you got there, Shapiro? You got some crowns for me? Yeah, listen, I got this real gold. I got 20 slaves. You take 20? You take 20 and a half. Cut his legs off. I mean the legs, but he can have the upper body. That's the new world. That's the new world order. You get the point? It says it here. For strong is the Lord God who judges her. Because, brother, the Lord is the only person who can beat this oppressor. There's nobody else. There's no science. There's no magic. There's no doctrine. There's no religion. The Lord is the only person who can beat this oppressor. And you had to understand that. That's why it's saying, for strong is the Lord who could bring this judgment. Nobody else. The Lord don't need your oil. He don't need your petrodollar. He do want your blood, though. That's right. Go ahead. Come on, quickly.
So like they did with the money to see that the dollar was the top dollar. So it's gonna be the kingdom is gonna be a commission to see which slaves is the top slaves, like the Edomite, the Moabite, saying who's the top slave.
Well, I mean, we could set up different competitions. We could set up different days of tribute to see who's best at it. But one thing I know, there will be none of this bullshit going on in the kingdom of heaven now. Read on real quick.
Verse 9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication.
Who have what?
Who have committed fornication.
The kings of the earth who have committed fornication. Go ahead.
And lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning.
Them kings who done got in bed with these Breton conference and this conference and that, this and that, they're going to look afar off when this place is destroyed. And they're going to be in mourning. You know why? Because they know they're next. Yep. They know this is the end of it all. They're so quick to end America. They don't understand. The fall of America is the end of the world.
That's right.
And it's the beginning of Jacob.
That's right.
And that's that. There will be no other empire. Putin, I'm sorry, I know you're trying to go to war, but there's no future for you after this shit.
Right.
After this thing, after Babylon falls, it's going to be Jacob.
Right.
And that's that. Give me some more.
Come on. Verse 10. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas.
Standing afar off for what?
For the fear of her torment.
Why? Because they standing far. Because now they like Peter. When Peter had to deny Christ, they had to be like, nah, I wasn't part of that shit. I wasn't trading in no dollar. I wasn't oppressing the Lord's people for fear of her torment. But you nations, it's coming. You East Indians, you Ethiopians, you Somalians, you Chinese, you this, you Mongolians, and Genghis Khan, and this and that.
Right.
That torment is coming to you. Any morning? Go ahead.
Saying, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come.
Right, that is the destruction that's coming to America. It's prophesied in the Bible, and everything you see going on now is tied to it.
That's right.
It's tied to it economically, financially, militarily. You know, the construction, even the military. That civil engineering of building bridges and structures and roads, that's a military discipline. Right? You have the Army Corps of Civil Engineers. Why? Because when they go and invade a country, you need to build buildings and barracks and roads and bridges and shit. I watched a documentary with American military. They have some, I forget the name of the device, but there's this big tank, this big trailer that pulls up with these, it's probably wide as big as this whole room. And it's probably like 2 tons in weight, and it floats on water. And they could connect it and make a bridge 1.5 miles in a half hour. And they could drive tanks over that bitch out. And then when it's done, they just drive backwards and pick the shit up with a crane. And the shit collapses. It opens up big like this phone, then collapses, to a fraction of the size. And they stack it back up on this big old thing, and they just keep moving. You get the point? But the contractors get paid for that from the petrodollar. Right. All that shit going to burn. Right? This whole thing with Putin and Biden and the thermo this and the nuclear that, brother, pray that it happens. Pray that it happens now, because it is absolutely at the end. With that, pass the class over to priest and officer per guy.
Security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K. out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yahanna. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shut themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. Means tenth in Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, you give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. The upcoming holy convocation is the Passover. The 14th day of the first month is Friday, April 15th, 2022. You can find this in Exodus chapter 12, verse 1 through 51, Leviticus chapter 23, verses 4 through 5, 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verses 7 through 8, and 2 Chronicles chapter 30, verse 17. The Passover is going to be held in Cocoa Beach, Florida. 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa, Florida. Remind Akim and Akwathian to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K. events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, you should start wearing all black, which includes black boots, black shirts, black pants, black headband, or scarf. With that,
right, yo, go check out Commander Johnny Yahanna. He live right now talking about Biden threatening to invade Ukraine over them nuclear weapons. It's super close, Akim. Y'all check him out. He breaking the whole thing down right now. All right.
With that, I say Amadium, which means to stand. We give one courtesy salute to the teacher, men of Israel, Amadium Shabbat, Amadium, Barak.
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah.
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah.
Yahya Matah. Saw means to turn. We give one courtesy salute to the sister, men of Israel, Amadium Shabbat, Amadium, Barak.
Yahweh Shema Allah Thabba Hashem Yahushua.
Yahya Matah. Class dismissed.